always on the same time, whatever you want to call it, and we change. But
I
they don't
can't
call
wait.
it, they don't call it daylight saving time because they don't need it. Is what they tell you on the airplane.
Whatever.
We don't
Okay.
need it.
We're gonna call the meeting to order. And it is 6 o'clock and I'm here, so, and you all are here too. So we'll get it going. First order of business is roll call. And Sheena, is that something that the secretary usually is in charge of, according to Robert's Rules of Order? So,
Dunn.
Here.
Oakson, Hotram. Here. Richardson. Here. Thomas. Here. Withrow.
Here. Okay, well, we're all here. And before we get into the minutes, are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Did you raise your hand?
No.
Oh, Matt, was that you? Okay. Keep your hands away from your hair now. All right, you all look great. The minutes were sent to everyone, and I know that everyone in their judicious minute reading, I'm sure have had a chance to look them over. Are there any mistakes or corrections that anyone noticed? Any discussion on the minutes? Then does someone have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll do a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved to accept and seconded the minutes. All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed say no. Okay. The minutes stand approved. And the next item is unfinished business. And there doesn't seem to be any. So let's go right on to new business. The North Millersburg Park design. Matt, or how did you want to?
Well, I was just going to kick it over to our consultants to take that on.
All right, can everybody hear me okay? Got on? Okay, perfect. Thank you again for having us here. It's our second time, and it's nice to see all your smiling faces. I'll introduce myself again. My name is Kirsty Oswald, Senior Landscape Architect with AKS Engineering, and this is my colleague Nancy Pierce, who works with me. So let me get my slide going here. I just wanted, since it's been a while since we've met last time, just kind of do a quick overview. I know you all remember that we did a public outreach program through a public survey, and then met with you a month and a half ago or so, to kind of come up with amenities priorities for this park. So just to kind of hit the highlights here. One of the key values that we saw come out of that process was that the community had a strong desire to retain a natural setting in the park, and have a space to enjoy nature. Also places for children to play, balanced with amenities that can be used by all ages, so that grandparents and parents can take their children to the park and everybody can have a good time. Let's see. Oh, sorry guys. There we go. One of the other items that came out of that poll was that environmental comfort was very important. That was things like shading, lots of seating, restroom, accessible restroom, drinking fountains, and then good solid surfaces to increase accessibility, including off-street parking, bike parking, hard surface trails, and unitary playground surfacing for some of the things that were most valued out of that survey. Amenities that generated a lot of noise or traffic, especially traffic from outside of the neighborhood, such as active sports fields, sports courts, and splash pads, were ranked as the least desired out of that survey. And then some of the amenities identified as priorities included a park restroom, open grass areas and trees and landscaping, playground, seating, vehicle parking, and bicycle parking, a drinking fountain, picnic area, shade shelters, and paved walking trails. So after our meeting, I took your guys' feedback and came up with 2 designs. We have concept A and concept B, and I'll just walk through those quickly. I'm just going to hit the highlights because I'd like to devote time to listening to you and the public. So concept A has 11 off-street parking. There's 5 parallel parking and 6 head-in stalls. 2 of those are ADA stalls. Also a circular fire access and drop-off zone to the restroom area and playground. It has locking pedestrian and vehicle entry gates that can be closed at night. The primary structure is combined picnic shelter and restroom. The size that's shown there has room for approximately 4 tables, 2 all-gender restrooms, and a mechanical room for storage and equipment. It has a drinking fountain and also room for covered bike parking where you could fit 4 to 6 bikes in that area. The blue area there represents a playground. It's nature themed. It has accessible surfacing, either a poured place or rubber tile. And just below that, to the right there, is an Oregon Oak tribute music garden. As we discussed before, there's several nice looking oaks on the property, but when we looked at them closer, there's a lot of rot and it's very likely they'll have to come down. So what better way to try to incorporate that natural history into the park than a tribute to it. That would include outdoor musical instruments, a more natural looking surface, such as decomposed granite, which can still be compacted to meet ADA requirements. A seating area using natural materials, such as either repurposing some of the logs from those oak trees and boulders. And then educational signage focusing on the life cycle of the oak. Big lawn area in the middle can be used for a multitude of different activities, playing frisbee, pickup games, that sort of thing. From what we heard from you, we tried to keep the mixed tree and shrub landscaping beds near the high use areas and as buffering for the neighbors where there's parking. And the majority of the park would be more of a grassland habitat that has camas and different types of wildflowers in it. Blend in with the natural environment that's already there. This option has a bocce ball court and paved pedestrian walking trails that have amenities like benches, dogway stations, litter containers, and kind of in the bottom right there, future connection to a possible creek trail. Also enhancing the wetlands with plantings, wildlife habitat logs, and interpretive signage to make it a feature. And then in the bottom left corner, there's a secondary picnic shelter that would be accessed with a pedestrian bridge. We also have several individual picnic areas scattered throughout the park in this option. Concept B has 10 off-street parking spaces, and 2 of those are ADA. It also has a circular, maybe I shouldn't say circular, kind of oblong shaped access drop-off zone. It has also a locking pedestrian and vehicle entry gates. And similar sized restroom that would fit the same type of amenities. It's located there central to the park, close to the playground, so that parents can have a comfortable place to sit, set up something to eat, and be able to watch their children play. The playground, a little bit bit smaller than the other one, but very similar types of amenities like swings and nature-themed equipment with unitary rubber surfacing as well. This option also has a wood teepee fort adjacent to that. It have more of a natural decomposed granite type surfacing on there, and it just provides an opportunity. It's a vertical element that brings people into the park to kind of explore, and it's also a fun area for children that maybe want to get away from the activity of the playground to have a quieter spot to sit. Central lawn here as well that can be used for all kinds of activities. And then same kind of landscape screening around the high use areas and as buffer. This option, instead of the bocce ball court, had two permanent concrete cornhole games. And then the similar looped walking trail with a connection to a future possible trail along the creek. Again, enhancing that wetland area, providing educational opportunities. A secondary picnic shelter there on kind of the middle right. This one would have views towards the creek. And then some smaller individual picnic areas. So with that, you want to open it to public comment?
Yeah, if it pleases the chair, at this point, we could open it up to public comments.
Yes. Are there any comments from the public? Concerns or questions? Yes.
Well, come on over here to the podium for us and talk in the microphone. If you could give us your name, and comments are usually about 3 minutes long, and they're happy to take any of those comments.
Sure, thank you. My name is Brian Seal. On that map, my house borders on the lower left-hand corner of this, the very lower left-hand corner of this area. So I have a great view. 6339 is the address, Sedona Road. And my only concern out of all of this, everything looks great except the music garden. That's the one thing that my wife sleeps during the day. She works as a night nurse. I have a baby. I don't sleep very well as a veteran who's been in Afghanistan, hears noises. And so that's the only thing. I don't know how loud it's going to be. If it's going to be metal, wood. I know not a lot of professional musicians go to parks. So what I'm imagining is kids banging on them loudly. So that's the only concern I have is the music garden. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Hello, Scott Cowan, resident 2491 Millersburg Drive. I like both concepts. I would be in favor of probably just, I support the bocce court, maybe splitting the two if there's going to be those type of games of the cornhole and bocce. I like the concept of the roundabout to try to control traffic and moving that along. The trying to centralize with I think that's option B there. Yeah, just the court or the playground a little bit further away from the resident might be an additional benefit just to the residents there and centralizing that. But so far, I like what I see. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
There's nobody online, just to let you know.
Yeah, they might be working out something. Anyway, all right. Well, if there aren't any more comments, where do we go from here?
We'll turn it back over to the consultant.
Okay.
All right. So with that, I would like to open it up for questions for you guys. You can just kind of open question and answer back and forth on this. So fire away.
I also like the first concept,
Okay.
but I think that
said that they like bocce ball and a cornhole. Having two choices there would be great. And I agree that having music, probably not gonna be, it's gonna be played by children. So it could be, yeah, a little more disruptive. But I like,
It won't be a lullaby.
no, well, I do like having the second shelter across the way. It kind of gives people a reason to go over there.
In the bottom.
In the
on-
bottom, in the
yes,
bottom
okay.
corner. It's kind of nice little separate space.
Okay.
And I like the idea of giving tribute to the oak. I wish we didn't have to take it out, but
Well, we don't have to. If music is problematic, we can make that just an educational area. It wouldn't have to have the form that's shown there.
okay. Yeah, I was referring to that
Oh,
oak,
the old oak, yes.
old oak tribute,
Yes,
yes.
yes. I think we all feel that way. It's beautiful.
But there's no way to save the oak tree.
I'm not a professional arborist, but there was a lot of rot in it. And I feel like since it's a public park that it might pose a hazard. So, I'm sorry, which parking area did you prefer? I'm sorry.
Oh, the first one.
The first one? Okay.
It's a smaller area. It just seems like it's more compact. It doesn't take up as much room at the park setting.
Uh-huh.
And then having just having like one line of parking down the side and more landscaping kind of keeps people from parking, I think, over in that area.
Okay.
I don't know. I like the roundabout. It just has a little bit more, the focus is then on the park and not the parking. What are your thoughts, sir?
I don't know about the play area as close to that gentleman's house there though.
On concept day?
Yeah, right here. He was here last time, wanting to know about how to get into his property and get out of his property and he likes to see the deer right there, but that playground right next to his backyard, I don't know. Maybe okay, maybe not.
So do you feel like in concept B that's a better location?
That would keep, that could be moved around a little bit and still have the roundabout, you know?
Uh-huh.
That would keep, then you got houses on the left there, you know? I mean, damn you do, damn you don't.
I mean, if this is preferred because it's away from more of the houses, we still could pull it a little further into the park too.
Yeah, it's probably important to note that we're not tied to features in concept A or concept B. We can entertain features that aren't on either at this point. Nothing's in concrete yet.
Trying to figure out how to put them both together.
Sure, that's the goal, you bet.
I'm just trying to make sure that the neighbor thing is fine.
Sure.
So it's hard to decide whether the parking would make more noise with the cars closer to his house or whether the playground would make more noise. It's hard to know.
Well, if they have mufflers, they'll be all right.
With concept A, he's almost got parking on one side and the playground on the other side.
Well, my concern is the topography. Doesn't it still come up right here? Or is this pretty flat?
That's kind of you can barely see the outline there. That's kind of a marshy area. And then it goes up to those homes in the back.
Like if we took the playground and moved it here and took the bocce ball and cornhole area over here, that'd get that away from that residence.
The only problem is that then we might have potential wetland impacts because it kind of comes through as an eyebrow right through the middle of our park there. But there is definitely room to pull it further.
How close is that playground to the flood?
It would be within it.
That's another problem.
Yes, I believe so. Let me
hang on, I can put that on the,
Okay,
And then they
okay.
took it off.
Yep.
and I can zoom in a little bit more on that as well.
That might be that floodplain, but 1996 was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Well,
plan for that.
areas that flooded and floodplains can be different things for sure.
Yeah.
From that time until now, the bridge was also replaced, so there were some changes. The flow is better now, but I know flooded up into that property, like where that home is now.
Thank you for that.
I find it hard to.
Hang on, you're a member of the public. Comment on that, map?
Yeah, but I was concerned about the pedestrian area in the lower right-hand corner of the concepts.
Oh, let me go back to the concepts.
No. In and out of there. I mean, you're either gonna go down this way along Crooks Creek, or you're gonna go up that way to Millersburg. And if you're gonna do that, you might as well just go out the road, okay? So I don't see the purpose of the pedestrian access.
Oh, well, the intent of that is that someday, well, our TSP or our Parks Master Plan? Hang on, that's not on yet. Let me get you on. Both our TSP and our Parks Master Plan envision a trail going down that corridor someday. And so what we've done is we've added a pedestrian, let me put it back on this.
Till that day, that should be.
Oh, as long as there's.
There should be no way to get in and out of there, because that's just gonna be.
Oh, no, I don't think it was our intention to have that be open to that creek area for sure, because we don't want folks in there either. I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned about. The other thing is that I think the only way in and out is off Millersburg Drive.
Correct.
So majority of the people who are going to use that are either gonna be walking in or driving in that way.
Certainly.
So the larger parking area, I think, is better. And, that's basically all my comments. Because you've got no way to get into the back end of this without upsetting people who have property there and taking an easeway, so you don't want to do that, but anyway, I just, those are the concerns that I had.
Thank you, Deb.
What is the different number of parking spots between the two concepts?
They're basically same. This one has 11 and the other one had 10.
Oh, okay, so they're the same. Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which one, it's just a
Yeah.
matter of.
Yeah. And I think since we would be under, we could probably get away with one ADA spot. I've shown two, but we could do, I think, just one for the size of a parking area, so.
If we didn't integrate the music into that oak area,
Mhm.
is there a different concept you can put in there to kind of replace that, or you just wouldn't integrate that one option?
Yeah, yes, yeah. We could keep the educational component, we could keep it as a sitting area. We could do some tactile play or something like that in that area as well.
But what's important to note is that what we're hoping to do tonight is to distill down these two concepts into one concept plan. We don't actually have to marry ourselves to any specific type of playground at this point. That's the next step, and that will too be coming in front of all of you once we start drilling down and getting far more specific. the Parks Commission will absolutely be playing a role in that. But for today, it's just a concept level. So while I appreciate the comments from the public, that it not be a music garden, by the time we're finished taking this project forward to the Planning Commission, it will be very stripped down and be basically a bubble diagram, and that's it. All those pictures you see on the side that were to help you folks in the public understand kind of what the concepts were, those will all vanish. Those will not be part of what gets entitled. What gets entitled will be a very, very basic bubble diagram type park.
No, I do like, it seems like in this concept, there's a lot more park area as opposed to places for people to park. So yeah, it just seems like we're utilizing the space much more for what its purpose is.
So are we leaning towards concept A, but trying to pull that park, excuse me, the playground area a little further away from the north property line? Okay.
And I probably should have mentioned it before. The hope is that the consultant leaves tonight with kind of a preferred concept from you folks. And we're then going to have her put that together into one drawing, not two anymore. We're going to run that by our city council just to show them what we've got in mind and what's being proposed there. And then it has to culminate by going to our planning commission for an actual entitlement. Now, normally we wouldn't bring a park like this to our planning commission for an actual entitlement, but part of the grant required that we do that. It had to end in a land use approval of some kind. So that's why we're doing that. We wouldn't normally take a park like this and give purview over this to our planning commission. This is really something we would normally put with you folks, but that's the concept and what we're hoping to achieve tonight.
So this could be the last time we have an opportunity to discuss this. Okay, that's good to know.
Well, until we get to the final design, which will be the next grant and the next phase that will come along. And that will just be consistent with the bubble diagram, but that's where we're really going to drill down on what kind of park benches and what kind of playground and all those, intimate details.
Now, as I understand it from what Christie explained at our last meeting, the SCORP funding is renewing in January? is that
Yes, I
correct?
believe in 2024, yes.
Is what again?
In 2024, I don't remember off the top of my head, it's January or a little bit later in the year, but
First quarter.
yes.
And then we'll be writing a grant to receive some of the funding from that.
If there are elements in here, which I think both concepts do have elements from their priority list, I think you have a better chance of getting grant funding, yes.
But yeah, we want to, the grants that we're going to go for will come from the State Parks Department mostly. But the three of us will look for grants anywhere we can find them to help pay for this. And hopefully by the time it's done, the city will have invested very little in all of it financially. And we'll end up with the park paid for mostly by the state, which is what the state wants to do. Yeah.
Is there any more discussion that we think we need to share with Christie and Nancy?
Well,
No, not really. No. Is there more?
I just,
Public.
yeah, I already identified myself, but I'll say it again. I was just curious. Scott Cowan, resident 2491 Millersburg Drive. I was curious how we did on the survey and the top priorities. Did we check those boxes there?
Yes, we did. I can go back to that.
I thought you did. I know you put it in your initial part of your presentation, but I was just checking on that.
Oops.
And then the only thing an idea that popped in my head, I do like the parking, the less parking or one parking spot less, but it seemed like more park. Just the idea, I'm not sure, for some reason I thought, oh, here we go. Was there I read about kids splash or something like that, a splash pad.
That was one of the ones that, and I can actually.
Was that
pull up-
a no?
Yes.
Okay.
And I can actually
Like the
pull up
lowest
those.
rank.
it was
Yeah,
listed as a
or-
possible feature, but did not rank very high at
Didn't rank
all
high,
in the
okay.
public survey.
And that was the only thing I was just wondering, 20 years from now, what, as growth and change happens to do, just the idea of, is there, a thought that where we could build more or expand or at least have it prepared if we wanted to add a feature. And so that was just, yeah, to the playground. And that's what I didn't remember that. I wasn't sure if that got a lot of high ratings or low, but it looks like it was low. So no worries. But that was my only thought.
With that in mind, would the location of the playground, would it be advantageous to place the playground in a location where it's more suitable for expansion?
We could, I wish email was get up and point. I mean, we could expand along the creek. You could move this. This maybe gets a longer loop, then you're moving your ADA parking a little bit further. But this maybe comes here a little bit more, this drops down here. You lose some usable lawn area, but it does pull it a little further away from home.
But at the same
gives you
time,
more.
it makes more usable lawn where it was. I mean, where the
Yeah,
park,
it's a
the
smaller
playground.
area, it's a
Yeah.
smaller
Yeah.
pocket. So
Right.
it'd be something probably similar to this size, yeah. Yeah, I think, maybe this rotates a little bit more in this, maybe it's still, maybe this is the area where we do want to recognize the oaks that have been, maybe this area becomes more quiet area, and this pulls down into here a little bit further.
I like that idea because it really helps with the expansion 20 years from now. When we're all, expanding.
I mean, that's a good thought, because I
When
mean,
we're not
that's
worried
right
about it
around the
anymore.
usable lifespan of most play equipment, so.
Yeah, none of these parks were ever intended to be static, and so as things change, yeah, we certainly want to change those parks moving forward. You bet. You bet. I did want to add one more thing to the microphone here, just to make sure it was reflected in the record, is that we did get comments from the public prior to this meeting. We did pass them out to the Parks Commissioners, and they have considered them as part of their discussion here this evening. Just want to make sure the record reflected that. I wanted those folks to know, yeah, that everybody had read them and was aware of them.
My one question was, have the concepts been shared with the gentleman in that White House right there in the corner?
Yes, they were. He received an email. I didn't get specific comments from him,
Okay.
but he did receive them.
Because I know he was here when we were doing our working meeting, so it would be nice to see what his thoughts were, if he had any on these concepts.
Yeah, he received them and didn't provide any comments.
Maybe thanks, okay, either one is good.
Maybe he's comfortable with them.
Thank you for checking on that. So before you wrap up, I just want to make sure, so we're leaning towards concept A, pulling the playground around and doing both bocce and cornhole?
I've got a comment on that. I think the big park would have way more parking for racquetball, and I think that the cornhole, yes, but I think the racquetball court, with the amount of parking we have at the big park, would be more conducive to have people there. And I've been here, 3-4 years, and I've never seen one person play horseshoes. The the volleyball court has been used once, and the dogs are digging in it now, and it looks like trash, because I walk there every day and I see it. But I think the racquetball courts could be moved there with adequate parking. I think there was a gentleman here last time saying that there would be a number of people in the area that play racquetball when they go down to the desert. And if they had a place here, they're not hard to cover either. They're cheap, just think that would be better.
Well, let's get some feedback from everybody else on that. Did you want to remove the bocce ball from our concept plan?
Maybe do the cornhole here instead.
Maybe,
If we could integrate it into the other, in the bocce ball into the other, the main, yeah, the
Yeah,
main
I
park.
like that idea.
That would be a good use of utilizing the space
The
there.
space is already there. The
Underutilized.
items that are there are not being used. They're 20, 30 years old, however long that park's been there. And if it's not being used, I think it would be advantageous to change it to something that people have talked about.
Okay, well, we can certainly bring that concept forward, either with the Parks Commissioner to our city council at another date. But for what it affects here tonight before us, this concept plan, sounds like there's consensus that that be removed.
Yes.
I would leave it, because I think that, people would use it if it were there.
I mean, you could certainly do it in both locations.
Yeah, there's no reason it wouldn't be one.
I'm just saying there's not a lot of parking there, and if the amount of people the gentleman said that would maybe show up to play was presumably fill up the parking lot pretty quick.
Well,
So maybe we put the cornhole in this location, hoping to put the bocce ball in the other.
I like that idea.
see, I'd put the bocce here, put the cornhole there. I mean, how many people have their own cornhole games at home? All my neighbors do, I know.
And that could fill the parking lot just as easy too,
Yeah.
you know?
So, you know, I actually think there are probably a lot more people that play cornhole than play bocce.
I doubt that that cornhole would be the focus of coming to the park, though. I think it might just
That's
be
true.
something
That's
for
true.
parents to do while their kids are playing. Be here, something different.
So,
But I agree that if we were able to utilize that at the old park, bocce ball, especially if there's more parking and they're gonna, does it require more parking? Are there more people that play it?
If people show up, eight or nine parking spots gonna fill up pretty dang fast, you know?
Anyway,
well,
Surprised nobody was concerned about cornhole being a noise pollution problem. I would think that that would almost be
well,
noisier
they're-
than.
it's a concrete, so it wouldn't make as much noise as the wood.
Yeah.
wood would.
Just the people playing.
Concrete.
yeah.
Well, it's a park, so you're gonna expect some sort of noise.
Right,
They don't use them, the bicycle
Yeah.
riders will use them to ride over.
exactly.
Now, Kevin was just reminding me that if we wanted to make one kind of unified direction on this park, and then as a separate action, make an official recommendation to our city council to entertain something for the big main park, we can still do that tonight as they're two separate issues, even though they're somewhat linked, but we can still do that tonight as well.
Is there ample room to have one of each in this park? In that section? Or would it be best to do?
We could
one here
probably,
And move the other idea over? I just don't know how much room.
if we're moving the playground area, sorry. Go to where I can flip through easily between the two. If we're moving that playground area, we probably, like, cornholes don't take up that much room. We probably could put them in that corner, but, you know, again, is that a noise generating activity? I
Probably
do,
no more so than
I-
children playing.
yeah. I do feel like, we do need to preserve some sort of central lawn, larger
Definitely.
lawn area. That was one of the things that ranked pretty high.
But in concept A, is there space in that one spot? If we were to remove the bocce ball and have.
Oh,
is
yes,
there room for
yeah,
having two
yes,
cornhole there?
yes. We could maybe even possibly fit in 3.
Okay. Or the bocce ball in one cornhole,
Yeah,
just
yep.
as different
Yes,
options
yep.
right there, in that same location,
Yeah.
not move.
There's a couple picnic tables in there, but I think those could be moved to other low areas. So,
Okay. That's what I would say, I'd either have one of each, or just cornhole in this, and then have a different proposal for bocce ball at the other location.
okay.
So just to clarify, if we want to recommend the bocce ball, that some of the areas in the main Millersburg Park used for bocce ball, we need to make a motion now, is that, or
Correct.
trying to figure out how to best phrase it.
Or do we need to focus on this first and then do that next?
Well, there would definitely be two separate items. I'm not sure it matters which one you do first.
Right now, which one we do?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're really expecting a motion on your direction to Kirsty to put together the final concept design that's going to move forward. That doesn't really need a motion per se, but if you want to make an official unified recommendation to city council, that should be a motion.
Well, I move that the city council consider taking some unused or less underused areas in the main Millersburg City Park and consider putting in bocce ball there.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we advise the city council
There
to
we go. Good.
consider using some of the less utilized space at the Millersburg Park to install bocce ball courts. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Looks like the motion has passed, and that will go to the city council.
Yes, sir, it will.
Now, back
Now.
to
Business.
North Millersburg Park.
I think we're making good progress on distilling down the plan, so this is great.
So, how are you doing on ideas to bring this to one?
You guys are making it much easier than I thought it might be, so.
Well, that's not too bad.
I was worried we were giving you too many ideas to muddle around.
No, this is good. Like I said, I think, what I'm hearing from you, just to summarize again, is concept A, for the most part, is the preferred option with moving the playground a little further to the south, away from, what is it, tax lot 500, I think, if I can read correctly. And I guess I'd like a consensus from you if bocce or cornhole or combination or none are preferred.
You'd like direction on that?
Yes.
Probably some more clarification would be good.
Yes.
I like a combination.
Okay.
I would like the combination as well.
Okay.
Yeah, combination.
Chuck, are you good with that?
I guess.
Okay.
I just think that the park, the big park is not utilized, the stuff that's there. And it's time to change some of it and give some people some different ideas. If nobody's playing horseshoes, I mean, I love the game. I play it down in the desert with the boys, and girls.
Well, it's almost like it's a generational game.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah, they're all gray haired down there. I know that.
And cornhole, which we call beanbag toss.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It has kind of evolved to
The RV park that I stay in down there has 4 of them, and they have a party once a month, and we all play it, costs you $1 and you might win a couple bucks,
I think ESPN covers
Soon it will be
Professional
What do you
cornhole,
say?
right?
that. Anyway, it's fun. We digress.
I don't want to throw kink in the works here, but if yard games weren't preferred, there are other, like concrete shuffleboards, foosball tables and stuff, which I have seen used in parks as well, if that was just another idea to throw out there. So.
Isn't shuffleboard another geriatric sport?
Play it on the cruise all the time.
Just saying.
I like the two concepts, the two ideas that we have for this park, given the amount of space and
Okay.
the amount of parking that we have.
Okay.
We might want to
Makes sense.
So, it's like, given the advice of using a combination.
And did you have, I think we're moving away from the music park concept. Did you guys want to keep some sort of element of, educational or, maybe like we had in concept B, like would teepee or some other element there? Do we have thoughts on that?
So if we were to remove
The music garden,
music,
yes.
could we put something like a teepee or
Yep,
something that
yep.
they could crawl on that's more
Yep,
natural kind of a
yep,
thing or play with?
yep.
So we wouldn't lose the whole idea, but kind of
Yes.
combine some ideas.
Yep.
I really liked the educational aspect too, the
Okay.
life cycle of the oak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
As long as there's things for them to have fun with too.
Yeah.
Right. They're only gonna read it once, but they'll play on it multiple times.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed on both designs, we talked about benches,
Mhm.
but are they actually on the designs?
Yes.
There's, they're along the edge of the path.
I have to get closer.
You picked the wrong spot to sit.
So this is the big table, bench here, bench here.
And then they're the corner. And then there's, over here on this side of by the park area, there's more benches there.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah. And then over here in this, there was one, maybe it was the other concept. There was another,
Yes.
and the other one had a picnic area in A.
This just pedestrian bridge to this.
Yes.
So,
I think,
yeah.
Nancy, could you click it to
A.
A, please?
There you
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has
Yeah.
the picnic shelter.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's benches and other stuff on it. And this one has a little group picnic area on this little corner too, kind of hidden underneath the tree. That's kind of a nice idea too. Spread people out.
Yeah, and I think as Kirsty was trying to consolidate the thoughts, she said concept A was the preferred concept so far. So the little features like that, she would just leave in the plan.
I appreciate all the ideas that we had at our working meeting, that how they got integrated into this, and we found a spot for things and still kind of didn't say, okay, they all go here, and there's just grass. But I like the form and function of these. They look nice.
Wonderful, thank you.
I have a small request. When you do the final presentation there, the diagram, could you use slightly larger font?
Yes, 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 for sure. Well, there won't be as much extra information too, so we definitely have room to do that.
Okay, anything else?
Christie, have anything else that you'd like to ask about? I mean, I've given you enough to go back and
I think so.
get to work.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
This plan is fantastic. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, I enjoyed our last working session. That really helped me kind of nail it down to what I was hearing from you guys, so.
So from here, we will wait until the next version is ready to.
Yeah, we'll start working on a grant to do the final design, which is just going to be far more detailed than what you see here. And of course, we're going to bring it before you folks for feedback on that. And that's probably going to be a lot more difficult than this, because we'll have to make some very concrete decisions about what's going to be included and where and what they look like and things like that. There's going to be a lot more invested in that for sure. But we don't have a specific timeline for what that's going to look like yet. But we're going to try and get it to you sometime next year.
Okay.
It'll be really driven by the grants and which grants we get and what their timelines look like. And so we'll look into that next year.
I think this should be a good foundation.
I really don't envision, famous last words, but I don't envision it being very challenging to get grant funding for this park. I think it meets the SCORP requirements, so the state is going to be happy to assist.
Why, I actually Googled score.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
It was fun to say.
And, because you guys mentioned it, and it was in the notes, I had no idea what it was. But anyway, it looks like, a lot of the fundamental expectations to get a grant are there.
That's right.
To qualify for it, so.
Yep.
That was good. So, I guess, if we're ready to go on, we'll go to, any more new business, than this.
No, sir.
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming and working so hard on it.
Thank you. It's been very fun.
And I'd like to thank the public for sharing some great ideas. All makes sense. And we're not making a date right now for the next meeting, is that correct?
Correct.
Just
Correct. Yeah, the Parks Commission meets kind of on an as-needed basis.
Right.
For sure.
Sometime in 24.
I'll be gone 27 days, so
We don't have anything planned,
I
so.
won't be home till April, so I'll have to make a phone call, just make sure I get this stuff on my email and I'll call in, talk, whatever I need to do.
Well, we could probably video chat.
Well, we're not planning
I
on
gotta
anything
learn how
right
to
away,
do
so I
that
think we'll be
first.
okay.
I quit work when the computers came in 24 years ago and I didn't want nothing to do with them, and I still don't.
We can get you into the
21st
I don't
century.
think he wants to be.
Okay, well, we'll make sure we would shut the company. Anyway, all right, well, if there is no more business, we will adjourn. I assume that you're gonna get back to us about how the presentation to the council.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You bet. And you folks are all welcome to attend that city council meeting and the planning commission meeting that follows if you like. You're even welcome to comment at the planning commission meeting, which wearing your citizen hat instead of your parks commission hat. You're absolutely welcome to.
I think I have